Hey guys, Pedro here to talk about, guess what? Judas Priest. Brand new album, Firepower. I've been looking forward to listening to this album for a very long time. Since Priest announced that they were releasing a new album in 2018, I've been looking forward to March 9th. I marked that date on my calendar. And while I was really excited about the release and got even more excited with every single that Judas Priest put out in anticipation of this album, I did have a few concerns, and I really want to share those concerns with you guys because it impacts the way I went into the album. So my main concerns were, I had two concerns, and they were the amount of tracks in the album and the duration of the album. Earlier on, I found out that the album was going to have 14 tracks and about 58 minutes in length. And that kind of worried me because I've seen a lot of bands that put out albums within the 1 hour mark and with 14, 15 songs, and they tend to water down their product as it gets towards the later stages of the album. They pack the albums really top heavy, and then from the middle point, the last song of the album, they're almost songs that could either easily be discarded or be used. Back in the days, they would be used as B-side tracks. So those were kind of my concerns when I saw the track amount and the duration of the album. Now, having said that, the moment I started listening to the album and the moment I listened to the first time through, all of those worries were gone, because these guys really they didn't throw any softballs at the listeners. This album, from song 1 to song 14, there are no skippable songs. There's not one single song that you can say, I like it, but skip. No, every single song is well produced, every single song is well put together. And to me, more important, the structure of the album, song 1 to 14, is really well done. They really balanced out the heavier, faster tempo, almost power metal songs with the more slow, drawn out songs. So it gave the listener more of not of a roller coaster ride, but it gave the listener more of a mix of styles, if you will. I think if they pack all the more heavier, faster tempo songs at the beginning of the album and then all the more drawn out songs at the end of the album, it to me would kind of break the album into two, and I hate when bands do that kind of stuff. I really like the way they did it, which was more alternating faster tempo with slower tempo songs. I really like that. But even the slower tempo songs were really well done and really had faster tempo elements to those songs that really brought out the melody and the slower parts. So I really liked the way they structured the album. I like the way they structure each song. I like the way they put it all together. And this album, to me, is going to be very hard to top. I'm not going to go on the record right now and say that this is going to be the best album of 2018. We're only March 9th of 2018. There's still a lot to go. There's still a lot of bands that are going to put new albums out this year. Bands that I'm really looking forward to their albums. So I'm not ready to say that this is the best album of 2018, but this album is going to be in the discussion. It's going to be impossible at the end of the year to talk about greatest albums of 2018 and not mention Firepower from Judas Priest in that conversation. I strongly believe that this album is definitely going to be in that conversation, if not number one, very close to number one. I really think it's the album that everybody was waiting for. It's the album that all Judas Priest fans were kind of waiting for, an album this strong, this well put together, this dynamic. I mean, there's really nothing for me to point at that I can say it's a flaw or something I didn't like in the album. I really liked everything. Now, if I want to, dig a little deeper into the album, into the things that I really enjoy, and I'm not going to get into my 3 favorite songs yet, but I'm going to talk about a few of the things that I really like, little nuances that I really liked in this album, things that I think are worth mentioning. One of them is Rob Halford's vocals. Absolutely incredible vocals in this album. The way he still hits those high notes, the way he delivers the song, the way he delivers those choruses. He really has a voice that goes with the music that Judas Priest puts together. Like, the whole thing is just like an incredible package, and his voice is vintage in this album. I was really impressed with every single song, with the way he delivered his vocals, the tone of his voice, just really vintage Rob Halford. I absolutely love his vocal work in this album. I also really enjoy the lyrics of the songs. There's a lot of cool lyrics, a lot of cool nuances. There's a lot of cool stuff when you start looking at and breaking down the finer details of each song. I really like that, and I'm sure he had a huge hand on that. Another aspect of this album that I can't I cannot mention this, is the guitar work. I think the guitar work in this album is one of the best I've seen in a very long time. The way they incorporated the very cool melodic riffs with very fast tempo guitar riffs with solos, and then how they incorporated the solos in the songs. I don't want to talk too much about that because I want to do that when I talk about my top three, but I really like the way they incorporated the solos in the songs. There's a lot of an old school vibe to this album. I really didn't, if you told me that this album came out 20 years ago and it was one of their earlier albums, I would totally believe you, because this album has a lot of those early Judas Priest components to it. I really liked it, and like I said, the guitars to me really had that throwback vibe to it. The way the way the two guitar dynamics played in the songs, the way the solos were presented, the way the solos sounded. There was a lot of cool stuff as far as the guitar work in this album is concerned. I really enjoyed it. I really think in par with the vocals, the guitar work are to me the two highlights by far of this album. Now, if you want to get more into the nitty-gritty of the album, there's one thing I have to mention. Out of the 14 tracks, one of those tracks is instrumental track. It's only like about a minute instrumental intro, if you will, because the song is called Guardians. It's song number 7 on the album, and it really feels like that song is the intro to the song number 8, which is Rising from Ruins. So they could have easily made this intro part of Rising from Ruins song, but they decided to call it Guardians and keep the two of them separate. I don't understand exactly why they did that. I mean, it works well, but let's face it, a lot of people, after listening to the album for the first time, they're probably going to skip Guardians and just go into Rising from Ruins. I really think they would have done a better job if they had connected the two together, because I really think the two complement each other and they kind of feel like part of one song, not two separate songs. I could understand if Guardians was the first track on the album and Rising from Ruins was the second track. I understand you breaking them down into an intro and then the track, because you want to do that on an album structure, but then not necessarily from a single perspective structure. I totally understand that, but these two songs come at 7 and 8 in the album, so I really feel, I mean, it works the way it is, but I really feel like from a listening perspective, those two, when you pack them together, when you put them in conjunction with each other, it sounds so much better. They really flow well with each other, and that's maybe, if I have to point one little negative, that would be it for me. Another song that I have to mention is Sea of Red. It's more of a ballad, and it's the last song of the album. Absolutely beautiful. Wow, like really cool song. Like, not expecting that as the last song of the album. I was almost expecting them to finish the album on a high tempo, fast tempo song, similar to how they started the album with Firepower. But no, they went the complete opposite. They started the album with such high octane song in Firepower, and then they finished the album with almost a ballad in Sea of Red. So it was kind of cool. Not what I was expecting. I was really expecting them to start strong, finish strong. But by finishing with such a mellowed out song, it almost suits the album well, because it's like coming to the end of your journey, if you will. And it starts with such high octane, like I said, with Firepower, and then it finishes on a more mellow note. So I understand why they did it. Not what I was expecting going in, but I totally understand it. And like I said, it gives you a feeling of closure to the album. So I thought it was cool. I really enjoyed that song. I thought it was a really cool song. Not in my top 3, but I really like that song. Now, as far as my top 3 tracks of this album are concerned, I mean, I have to go. The first one I have to mention is Firepower. I mean, that was the second single that came out of the album. And it's a song that I love this song from the moment I heard the audio track. We had a reaction video for this track, and the moment I heard that song for the first time, I absolutely loved it. Such a fast tempo, super fast guitar riffs, cool vocals. The chorus is super catchy. The way he hits those high notes in the chorus, I absolutely love that. I think it's such an integral part of this album, and it was such a cool way to start off the album with that song. Also, being one of the singles, everybody going into this album knew that first song. So I think that's also an advantage for the listener, that when they start listening to the album, the first song is already a song that they're familiar with, and it kind of eases you into the rest of the album. Now, the second song, my second favorite song on this album, is actually the second song of the album, and it's Lightning Strike, which was actually the first single to come out of the album. So I really like the way they did that. putting Firepower number 1, Lightning Strike as number 2. You're giving the listeners the first 2 singles that came out are the first 2 tracks on the album. So like I said, it really gives you that sense of comfort knowing the first 2 songs of the album. Makes you put your guard down, relax, listen to the album, get into it, and then as the things start changing, as the tempo start changing, as the song melodies start changing, by then you're already completely involved and absorbed by this album. So I really like the way they did it with these 2 tracks, the tracks that lead you into the album. They're 2 of my favorite. Now, my absolute favorite song on this album is Rising from Ruins. I mentioned it earlier, is the one that has Guardians as the intro instrumental track into it. This song is absolutely beautiful. I honestly hope that they do a video for this song, because this song has so many aspects that I like. It's more of a slower song, but with a much faster chorus. The guitar riffs on the chorus and the tempos on the chorus are much faster. Has a super catchy chorus. Actually, this album is full of incredible hooks and catchy choruses all over. But this one has a super catchy chorus. It's a really cool hook to it, and then there's something that I really like. And I don't think you see as much in newer bands doing it, but it was something that older generation bands used to do a lot, which is during the chorus, while the singer is singing the chorus, there is a guitar solo going on in the background. I absolutely love that. They did it in this song. The last chorus of the song, Rob is singing the chorus, and you can hear the second solo of that song coming while he's singing the chorus, and then it finishes off the song with an incredible guitar melody. There's also a nice guitar melody right after the first chorus. This song has everything: slower tempo, faster tempo chorus, catchy hook, catchy chorus, solo during the last chorus of the song, solo while he's singing the chorus, incredible guitar melody. I mean, this song has everything. It was like you're going through the heavy metal supermarket and you're picking all the best attributes that you can put into one song, and that is Rising from Ruins. Absolutely my favorite song in the album. I think I've heard the album 4 times now, and I think I heard this song at least 6 to 7 times, because every time I go through the album, this song gets at least 2-3 repeats. I'm absolutely in love with this song. But that's it for me. I mean, I'm totally happy, and I'm totally excited about what the reception is going to be about this album. I totally think, like I said, this album, if not number 1 by the end of the year, is definitely going to be in the conversation for the best album of the year. But now, you heard what I think about Judas Priest Firepower. Now I want to know what you thought about Judas Priest Firepower. Let me know in the comment section below what your thoughts were. What are your favorite 3 songs? What did you think of the guitar work? What did you think of the choruses of the songs, the hooks? What did you think of Rob's vocals? Let me know in the comment section below. What are your thoughts on Judas Priest Firepower? Take care, guys.